The night sky burned crimson as the moon hung low, swollen and unnaturally bright, its surface pulsating with chakra-infused veins that throbbed like a living heart. Below, the ruins of Konoha smoldered, its shattered buildings casting jagged shadows in the eerie glow. Naruto Uzumaki stood atop the remnants of the Hokage monument, his orange cloak flaring behind him as he glared upward, fists clenched. The air crackled with energy, the very fabric of the world straining under the moon's oppressive presence. This was no ordinary celestial body, it had become a weapon, a prison, a rebellion against the natural order, and it was draining the chakra from every living thing on earth. Naruto's jaw tightened as he felt the pull, his own immense reserves flickering like a candle in a storm. He had faced gods, demons, and even his own darkness, but this was different. The moon wasn't just an enemy, it was a force of nature twisted by an ancient will, one that sought to rewrite reality itself. Beside him, Sasuke Uchiha materialized in a swirl of black flames, his rinnegan spinning ominously. "You feel it too, don't you?" Sasuke muttered, his voice low and tense. "It's not just absorbing chakra, it's rewriting the rules." Naruto nodded, his blue eyes hardening. "Then we break the rules first." A deafening roar split the sky as the moon's surface convulsed, tendrils of crimson chakra lashing out like whips, carving fissures into the earth below. The ground trembled as the attack reached for them, but Naruto was already moving. He leapt forward, golden chakra erupting around him in a blazing aura as he entered Six Paths Sage mode. His fist met the nearest tendril in a shockwave of force, the impact sending a visible ripple through the air. The tendril shattered, but two more replaced it, slithering around his defenses. Sasuke's Sharingan flared, his Susanoo manifesting in an instant, a skeletal purple warrior that swung its massive sword, cleaving through the attacks with precision. The moon pulsed again, and this time, a figure emerged from its surface, descending like a fallen star. Cloaked in robes woven from moonlight, their face obscured by a mask of shifting constellations, the being radiated power that made the air itself tremble. "Fools," the figure intoned, their voice echoing as if spoken by 1,000 mouths. "You cling to a dying world. The great eclipse will purify it." Naruto bared his teeth. "Like hell it will." He hurled a Rasen Shuriken, the spinning vortex of wind and chakra screeching through the air. The figure raised a hand, and the attack disintegrated into motes of light, absorbed effortlessly. Sasuke didn't wait. His rinnegan flashed as he activated a Mino Tejikaru, swapping places with a kunai embedded near the figure's back. His blade, crackling with lightning, slashed downward, only to meet an invisible barrier. The figure turned, their mask tilting. Predictable. A shockwave erupted from their palm, sending Sasuke skidding backward, his Susanoo's armor fracturing. Naruto lunged in, his fists a blur as he unleashed a barrage of punches, each strike infused with Senjutsu chakra. The figure dodged with unnatural grace, their movements almost liquid, before countering with a palm strike that sent Naruto crashing into the earth below, cratering the ground. Gritting his teeth, Naruto pushed himself up, his cloak flickering. He wasn't done yet. With a roar, he summoned Kurama's full power, the Nine Tails' massive form materializing in a burst of golden flames. Kurama's tails lashed, his voice a growl in Naruto's mind. "This thing's chakra. It's like nothing we've faced." Naruto smirked. "Then we hit it harder." Meanwhile, Sasuke regrouped, his Susanoo reforging itself into its perfect form, a towering specter of violet energy, wings spread wide. He raised his hand, and black flames erupted in a swirling inferno, Amaterasu engulfing the figure's path. The moon's champion didn't flinch. With a wave of their hand, the flames twisted, bending to their will before surging back at Sasuke. He barely dodged, the heat searing the edges of his cloak. Naruto and Kurama charged, a tailed beast bomb forming between the fox's jaws, its sheer power warping the air. The blast rocketed forward, a sphere of annihilation, but the figure raised both hands, and the bomb imploded, collapsing inward before vanishing entirely. Naruto's eyes widened. "They're absorbing ninjutsu?" Sasuke landed beside him, his breathing ragged. "Then we go physical. No chakra, just raw force." Naruto grinned. "My specialty." They moved as one, Naruto's fists glowing with pure taijutsu mastery, Sasuke's blade a silver streak. The figure finally reacted, their form shifting as they met the onslaught head-on. The clash was titanic, each blow sending shockwaves that shattered the landscape. Naruto landed a devastating uppercut, the impact cracking the figure's mask, revealing a glimpse of glowing, pupilless eyes beneath. For the first time, the figure staggered. Then, they laughed, a sound like breaking glass. "You amuse me. But this is not a battle you can win." The moon above pulsed once more, and the sky itself seemed to fracture, reality bending under its will. Naruto and Sasuke exchanged a glance. This was only the beginning. The true fight, the rebellion against the Eclipse, had just begun. The battlefield trembled as Naruto Uzumaki stood defiant beneath the blood-red moon, its eerie glow sapping the chakra from the very air. The celestial body loomed larger than ever, pulsating with malevolent energy as if it were alive, a living enemy in the sky. Across the fractured earth, his allies lay battered but unbroken, their resolve hardening as the stakes became clear. This was no ordinary fight, it was a rebellion against fate itself. Sasuke's Sharingan blazed crimson as he analyzed the shifting lunar energy. The moon's chakra absorption is accelerating, he growled. If we don't act now, it'll drain us dry before we can land a hit. Naruto clenched his fists, golden Kurama cloak flickering as he fought against the oppressive force. Then we hit it harder than it can take, he shot back, his voice fierce. Without another word, they launched into action. Sasuke's Rinnegan flared as he unleashed a devastating Amaterasu, black flames licking hungrily toward the lunar surface. But the moon retaliated, a wave of distorted gravity twisted the flames aside, sending them spiraling harmlessly into the void. Naruto didn't hesitate. Channeling Sage Mode, he hurled a barrage of Rasen Shuriken, each spinning blade carving through the atmosphere. The moon's surface cracked under the assault, but the fissures sealed almost instantly, its regenerative power terrifying. Sakura, muscles coiled with chakra-enhanced strength, rocketed skyward, her fist a blur of destructive force. "Take this," she roared, driving her punch into the lunar crust. The impact sent shockwaves rippling outward, but the moon's energy retaliated, a whip of condensed chakra lashed out, slamming her back to earth. She skidded across the ground, gritting her teeth as her healing chakra flared to mend broken ribs. "It's adapting," she panted. "We need a new strategy." Then, the moon struck back. A rain of chakra-infused meteors descended, each one screaming toward the battlefield like vengeful stars. Lee's fists became a whirlwind as he intercepted them, his 8 gates enhanced speed turning him into a green blur. "Youth never yields," he bellowed, shattering stone after stone. But the toll was immense, his muscles screamed in protest, blood seeping from his pores. Nearby, Gaara's sand surged upward, forming a colossal shield to protect the others, his eyes narrowed in concentration. "We can't hold forever," he muttered. Naruto felt Kurama's voice rumble within him. "This isn't working. We need to combine our power, all of it." A plan crystallized in Naruto's mind. He locked eyes with Sasuke, and in that instant, they understood each other perfectly. "Now," Naruto roared. Kurama's chakra erupted around him, merging with Sasuke's Susanoo to form a towering, radiant warrior, the ultimate fusion of their strengths. The armored titan raised a sword forged from pure energy, its edge humming with annihilation. With a deafening cry, they brought the blade down in a single, cataclysmic slash. The moon's surface split open, a jagged scar tearing across its face. For a heartbeat, it seemed victory was within reach, until the wound began stitching itself back together, the lunar entity's laughter echoing in their minds. "Foolish mortals! You cannot destroy what is eternal." But Naruto grinned, undeterred. "We're not done yet." Deep within, he tapped into something primal, the last reserves of his indomitable will. His chakra erupted anew, blazing brighter than ever, and Sasuke's Rinnegan pulsed in response. "One last shot," Sasuke said, his voice raw with exertion. Together, they channeled every ounce of power into a final, desperate assault. The sky itself seemed to fracture as their combined energy surged forward, a storm of destruction hurtling toward the moon. The impact was blinding. Light swallowed the world, and for a moment, there was only silence. Then, the moon shuddered. Cracks spiderwebbed across its surface, spreading faster than it could heal. A deafening roar filled the air as the celestial body began to crumble, its oppressive energy scattering like dying embers. Exhausted but triumphant, Naruto dropped to one knee, his breath ragged. Sasuke staggered beside him, Sharingan dimming. Around them, their comrades rose, battered but unbroken. The battle was won, but the cost had been immense. As the last fragments of the moon dissolved into the void, Naruto looked up at the clearing sky, his heart pounding with hard-earned victory. "We did it," he whispered. But in the depths of space, something stirred, a whisper of darker forces yet unchallenged. The rebellion was far from over. The battlefield trembled as Naruto and the moon clashed for the final time, their energies colliding in a storm of chakra and celestial fury. The sky above them was a fractured canvas of crimson and indigo, the eclipse reaching its zenith as the world teetered on the edge of annihilation. Naruto's golden cloak flickered, His 9 tails formed straining against the moon's overwhelming power, its silvered surface now cracked with veins of dark energy. "You can't win," the moon's voice echoed, a cold resonance that seemed to seep into the very air. "This world will be reborn in my image." Naruto gritted his teeth, his muscles burning with exhaustion, but his eyes blazed with unyielding resolve. "Like hell it will," he roared, driving forward with a Rasengan spiraling in his palm. The moon retaliated with a wave of gravitational force, warping space itself as it sought to crush Naruto into oblivion. He barely dodged, the ground beneath him imploding into a crater. Kurama's voice growled in his mind, "We're running out of time, kid. One last push, all or nothing." Naruto nodded, feeling the last reserves of his chakra ignite. He weaved hand signs with blinding speed, summoning 1,000 shadow clones, each one glowing with the combined might of Sage Mode and Kurama's power. They surged forward like a golden tide, a symphony of Rasen Shuriken humming through the air. The moon countered, summoning jagged spears of lunar rock that skewered clones by the dozens, but Naruto pressed on, his real body darting through the chaos. Sasuke's Sharingan flared as he materialized beside Naruto in a burst of black flames, his rinnegan spinning. "Took you long enough," he muttered, raising his sword as Amaterasu surged toward the moon's core. The flames licked at its surface, searing through its defenses. The moon shrieked, its form wavering. "Now, Naruto!" Sasuke barked. Without hesitation, Naruto channeled every ounce of his remaining strength into a colossal Rasengan, infused with natural energy and Kurama's final vestiges of power. He lunged, driving the attack straight into the moon's fractured core. Light erupted, a supernova of blue and gold, shattering the celestial body into fragments that rained down like falling stars. Silence followed, heavy and surreal. Naruto collapsed to his knees, gasping, his body screaming in protest. Sasuke staggered beside him, his rinnegan dimming. The eclipse faded, the sun's warmth returning as if the world itself exhaled in relief. Below, the battlefield lay in ruins, but the shinobi alliance stood in stunned awe, their cheers rising like a tide. Hinata sprinted toward Naruto, tears streaking her face, catching him just as his strength gave out. "You did it," she whispered. He managed a tired grin. "We did it." In the aftermath, the world was forever changed. The moon's rebellion had exposed the fragility of the celestial balance, forcing the shinobi nations to unite in ways never before imagined. New alliances formed, old grudges buried beneath the weight of shared survival. Naruto and Sasuke, once rivals bound by fate, now stood as symbols of reconciliation, proof that even the greatest divides could be bridged. As the dust settled and the first light of dawn painted the horizon, Naruto looked to the sky where the moon had once loomed. It was smaller now, its scars a reminder of the battle fought. But it still shone, a silent witness to the resilience of those below. He clenched his fist, feeling the weight of his journey, the pain, the sacrifice, the unbreakable bonds that had carried him this far. The future was uncertain, but for the first time, it was theirs to shape. And that was enough.